hit the like button. What is this? Makeup lenses. What is this? I didn't even know. This is new. What is this? Underwater? I ain't doing none of that. Okay. Okay, they got some new features. Okay, they got some new features. We're going to have to play with that. Welcome to the live chat, everybody. Welcome to the live chat, man. Welcome to Saturday morning live stream, man. Welcome to the live chat. Remember to guard your privacy and abide by community guidelines. It's so important. Thank you, YouTube. Thank you, YouTube. Thank you, YouTube. We back on the Saturday morning. Saturday! It's Saturday! It's sad. We got our quarter zip on, man. We got our quarter zip on. We got our herbal tea, man. What's up, man? We ready to go, man. Good morning, good morning, good morning. It's morning time. Double tap at the like button. Double tap. You see what time? You see that beautiful thumbnail? Shout out to my Grok assistant. Shout out to AI. Salute to the Grok AI. Man, we got the fire thumbnail, we got the fire description, we got the fire tag, got the fire emojis. Double tap at the like button, man. What y'all doing on this Saturday morning, man? Come on in. I know you're scrolling through YouTube, doing the voodoo, trying to find who do what they do, man. Double tap at the like button as you come in. Welcome to the live chat. Remember to guard your privacy and abide by community guidelines, everybody. Remember to guard your privacy and abide by community guidelines. We got some hot geopolitics to discuss this morning, man. Some hot news, man. Hot geopolitical conversation. Double tap at the like button. You know what we do every day, all day. Trump news, giving Democrats the boo-hoo-hoo blues, giving Democrats the boo-hoo-hoo blues. You know what we do, man. Double tap hit the like button, man. It's your boy, Perfect Timing, man. We got a beautiful topic today, another round robin discussion, man. Welcome to the live chat. Remember to guard your privacy and abide by community guidelines. It's so important. It's so important. As you come in, man, wipe your feet as you come in, man. Double tap it, the like button, wipe your feet as you come in. We got some great geopolitical news. You know how I wanted to start off this morning, man? I got a list of things, man. I'm so proud of my president, man. But how I wanted to start this morning is reminding everybody, today is a great day for geopolitical Trump, Maga, magnificent. What a wonderful Saturday and a wonderful weekend. Everybody watching can just kick back, relax, go double check the facts as we bring them to you. But it's been 11 months, man. We in November. We coming up on December. This is the first year of a 4-year term, and it's so much that have been accomplished, man. I mean, today we're going to be talking about something that had everybody terrified just months ago. The reason I want to start right here. Hey, first in the chat is Louis. Shout out to you, Louis. Double tap hit the like button. Jay Mason, man. I want to start off with the fact that just a few months ago, look how much geopolitical strife we were facing. There was a reason why the congressional math is the way it is. The fact that the House is 219 to 213. Why is the MAGA in charge of the House? Republicans in charge of the Senate. It was because we were given a mandate. It was because of the status geopolitically and globally of the American, not just the American worker, but overall Western society and the influence in America. And that was the biggest thing about MAGA, make America great again. So we had conflict. We had, let's go, Brandon, let's go to sleep. Brandon was going to sleep on every geopolitical issue. We can start, the other day I was talking to my wife. She was doing some research on Vietnam, and I said, and the AI told her that Vietnam was a loss because the individuals, and we were there. She didn't know that we were in Vietnam so long, and that they stayed in Vietnam so long. But as soon as we left and went back, I said that was the same thing that happened in Afghanistan and Iraq, and we were there for 20 years. And she was like, "Wow," she didn't know that. So when we started off this year, remember, we had a decision. And this is what I love to remind people. Double tap at the like button. Everybody watching right now. Salute to everybody watching right now. Double tap at the like button. Saturday morning, man, we going up. We lit the #1 conversation for geopolitical topic and debate #1 this morning. Man, check this out, man. We had a decision. This is what I want to start off with, why you made the right decision. Why did you make the right? We made the right decision because of what we were facing just months ago. Thank you, everybody, hitting the like button. Double tap hit the like button. Like, share, and subscribe, man. A lot of new watchers and listeners on Saturday. Don't worry, man. What you have, where you are right now, you are at the #1 chat room, the #1 podcast for geopolitical debate on YouTube. If you've never been here before, welcome, welcome, welcome. Top of the mid-morning podcast every day, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. We talk about Trump news, giving Democrats the boo-hoo-hoo blues, giving Democrats the boo-hoo-hoo blues. That's what we do every day at 11 a.m. But today I have some good news. I had to come to you on a Saturday morning. And I'm laying the foundation of how fantastic President Trump and this Maga magnificent administration has been. So what I am talking to you about is the fact of the matter that we had geopolitical strife all over the globe. We had an Israel-Gaza conflict. The hostages are home. Can I have a shout out? Shout out to you, baby. Shout out to you. Shout out to you. I don't know how to say your name, so your name is probably a troll name, but shout out to you anyway. How you doing, Destine? Come on in. The trolls is welcome. If that's all we got this morning is trolls, then come on in and troll. It's okay. Well, salute to you, brother. Thank you for coming in. As you come in, double tap, hit the like button. Let me know you're not a troll. You know how you let me know you're not a troll? Double tap, hit the like button. Double tap, hit the like button, or else I don't know who you are, man. Double tap, hit the like button. We having a geopolitical conversation and a debate this morning. If you love politics, and you love political discourse, you're in the right place. You are in the right place. Double tap, hit the like button, like, share, and subscribe. You are watching the Perfect Timing Podcast, where we do Trump news. Today, if you didn't see the thumbnail, if you haven't read the description, I'm going to ask you to double tap, hit the like button, subscribe, check out the thumbnail, read the description. We are talking about Maga magnificent Trump news. We are talking about the fact that only after 11 months, the Democrats don't have any leg to stand on. Thank you for subscribing. The Democrats don't have any leg to stand on. Now, let's get into this really political debate and discussion, why it is that Congress is being ran and led by the Republicans. Why did the American people, don't you like that? Why did the American people hand over all three branches of government and the Supreme Court? This is the reason why Donald Trump has been so successful in all of his ICE Supreme Court battles, all of the immigration Supreme Court battle. Every time we've been to the Supreme Court, every time we've been to the Supreme Court, we've been victorious. And right now, we're in Charlotte, North Carolina. In 1 week in Charlotte, 250 arrests. I mean, why did you vote for Trump? Why did you vote for your Republican Congress? Why did you vote for the Republican Senate? Because there was a mandate given out by the American people just months ago. And this is what I want to remind people. Just months ago, there was a mandate given out. Just months ago, there was a mandate given out by the American people, and that mandate said that Donald Trump is not only Donald Trump, but Donald Trump and the Republicans should be more responsible, look like the more responsible party. I have to agree with that. You had a chance to pick Kamala. They had a chance to pick Kamala. They had a chance to pick Tim Walz. And instead they picked Trump. Now let's go over the fact of the matter is, during the Biden administration, and we can track it back all the way back to the Obama administration, and Zelensky brought this up. Do you know Zelensky brought this up going back to 2014 during the Obama-Biden administration? Isn't it funny how Biden is so bad? Biden is like a fart or a stench that just lingers. Biden was in the Senate for 30 years. Biden was a vice president for 8 years. Horrible administration. The Barack Obama administration was so horrible. That's why you had a shutdown. Why did you have a shutdown? Because the Barack Obama administration was so hard. What did they do? They paid out Jamie Dimon. They paid out J.P. Morgan. They paid out. What was it? Bonuses in the millions. Y'all remember Occupy? Y'all remember when your grandmother got fleeced? Barack Obama released Jeffrey Epstein early, paid out bonuses, and then their major accomplishment for your first black president, the king of Wakanda, was the Obamacare, Affordable Care Act. But what really happened? Obamacare could not be sustained. Obamacare was not sustainable, so it needed subsidies. It needed a band-aid. Even Barack Obama, when he passed it, he couldn't get the what was it called, you guys? Barack Obama couldn't get the single-payer option, right? It wasn't the bill that he wanted, right? So he said we have to continue to fight to make the Affordable Care Act, Obamacare, better, because it wasn't perfected, because he didn't get to pass. Remember? Do you guys remember? This is why they had to keep coming back and put in band-aids and put in band-aids. The Affordable Care Act was no good. Did you hit the like button? Double tap, hit the like button. Everybody, let's get a goal up right now. Let's start the goal. Let's start the goal and double tap, hit the like button. Let's get them super stickers. Let's get them super chats. Let's go. We having a conversation, geopolitical conversation this morning. We talking about peace. We talking about peace. Peace, peace, peace. Peace in the Middle East, baby. We talking about peace. This is a great conversation today. We are excited. MAGA is really excited. MAGA is excited this morning because Donald Trump is the best president we've had in the last 20 years, and so much has been accomplished in the first 11 months of a 4-year term that we had to do a special Saturday episode, baby. Double tap, hit the like button. Did you hit the like button, baby? I'm putting up a poll right now. Did you hit the like? Did you hit the like? Did you hit the like button? There you go. There you go. Did you hit the like button? Go ahead and hit the like button right now. Go ahead and hit the like button and subscribe right now. That's what I want to see. All right. Everybody in the building, double tap, hit the like button. Double tap, hit the like button. Perfect Time Podcast. We in this bitch, man. Let's go this morning, man. Saturday morning, man. Geopolitical conversation, man. Geopolitical conversation, man. Double tap, hit the like button. Everybody like, share, subscribe. I need all my subscribers to be notified so we can get in here and have this conversation, man. Double tap, hit the like button. So starting off with the Ukraine, we can't just get into Zelensky. We got to lay a foundation for this Trump administration. We can't just get into Zelensky. We got to lay a foundation for this Trump administration. You know what I'm saying? We had geopolitical strife all over the place. You understand what I'm saying? We had geopolitical strife all over the place. We didn't just have the Ukraine conflict that started in 2014 under the Biden administration with the Azov Battalion, the resurgence of the Nazis coming back, and America training the Nazis, which is the Azov Battalion. The Azov Battalion was a Nazi street gang. Did you know that? The Ukraine army is made up of Nazi street gangs that was enveloped into the revolt in the early 2014s, and America backed them, just like we backed Al-Qaeda once upon a time. We gave them money. You know, you need to pay attention to this geopolitical debate that we're having this morning, because it's really super important that we're having this conversation this morning. But that is what happened in 2014. That's how we get Zelensky in office. Zelensky was a comedian.
Pay attention if you want.
Zelensky was a comedian. Shit, I don't even know why. Okay, double tap, hit the like button. Zelensky was a comedian. Oh, okay, I want to see how that looked. Zelensky was a comedian. Okay. Zelensky was a comedian and a TV politician. Zelensky was a comedian and a TV politician. So he was a president on TV, and then somehow he became the president of Ukraine, and this is how we get the debacle that we have in the Ukraine. So when Trump takes office, we have a comedian as president in the Ukraine. But how do we get into the conflict with Russia and the Ukraine? So don't forget the fact that your border czar, she's not black, she's not the border czar, but she damn sure went over to Europe and gave a speech and poked the bear. She told Putin that the Ukraine could be part of NATO if they wanted to. The one thing Putin wanted was for the Ukraine not to be part of NATO. And what is your favorite border czar? She's not the border czar. She is the border czar. Is she black? I don't know if she's black. She says she's black. It's okay if she's black, but I don't know if she's black. Is she black now? Fine. Kamala Harris is black, but is she the border czar? That's what we want to know. But what we do know is that Kamala Harris, she may not be black, she may not be the border czar, but she went over and she gave a speech that caused us to get into a conflict with the Ukraine and Russia, because the one promise that we gave is that we would not poke and pry the Ukraine to become part of NATO. And what did Biden and Kamala do the whole damn time? time. The whole damn time. Oh, the Cold War. Where's the Cold War right now? Everybody right now, what are you worried about? You worried about Christmas presents. You worried about shutdown. You worried about EBT. You worried about kitchen table politics. Can I get kitchen table politics in the chat right now? You are worried about your kitchen table. You're not worried about the Cold War. Biden wanted you to worry about the Cold War. What Cold War, Biden? That's your 80-year-old sleepy ass. That's why Biden and Kamala is not the damn leaders of the damn America. They wanted to scare you into another global conflict. Oh, the Cold War. What Cold War? There is no Russian wall, Germany, none of that shit from the 1980s in Ronald Reagan. But we almost ended up in a nuclear conflict. Why? Because sleepy Joe Biden and Kamala Harris wanted to poke the bear. Now, you know why Trump is so great? So we go from an administration that does not know anything about geopolitics. We go from an administration that wants to expand NATO. Then we get to an administration like Trump. And what did Trump do? The first thing, he takes us back out of the Paris Climate Accord. But then he tells NATO, Trump tells NATO, and this is a signal to Putin, this is how we get to peace. This is why we're talking about peace today, right? The hostages are already home from Israel. Did you know the hostages are home? Did you know the hostages are home? How do we get to talking about peace? Trump tells NATO, hey, we gonna leave NATO. Trump has only been president 11 months. The big beautiful bill was passed in 6 months. He put the big beautiful bill in January. No one is looking at the politics of this administration and how much productivity Trump has done. Do you guys understand this? He told NATO, we're going to leave NATO. He told NATO, we are no longer carrying the weight of NATO. NATO for the past 20 to 50 years have not paid their fair share in blood, in money, in sacrifice, in bullets. In bullets and blood. Trump said, NATO, we're not giving up America bullets and blood to protect your issues anymore. NATO going to have to participate at the full extent of America. That was the first sign to Putin that this is a brand new administration. That was the first sign to the globe that this is a brand new administration. We understand the art of the deal. We understand geopolitics, and we will not be ran by this socialist, Marxist bullshit anymore. NATO, put up or shut up. See, I got to lay the foundation. Because a lot of people will troll and say, ain't no peace. Ain't no peace. No. You don't understand. See, they don't understand the ceasefire in Israel. See, we have the hostages are back home. Did you know the hostages are back home? We have a 21-point peace plan in Israel. We have a ceasefire in Gaza. When the last time you heard anything about Gaza? I hear crickets. When the last time you heard anything about Gaza? Do you know who created that 21-point peace plan? Do you know where the 21-point peace plan for peace in Israel and Gaza was signed? Do you know? You need to know. You need to know as we get into Zelensky and Zelensky's failure and Zelensky not understanding that Biden is not the president, Zelensky. Zelensky, get with the program. Biden is not the president. I don't know who you thought was in the White House, but your day in the sun, it's over, Zelensky. It is over, Zelensky. So today we're talking about peace. We're talking about peace. We're talking about the Trump administration and being productive, how much they have accomplished. We are talking about peace in the Ukraine, peace, and we are talking about the failures of a comedian and a television star that came to power during the Obama-Biden administration, that this war exacerbated under the President Biden, who had cognitive abilities. And somebody thinks that we would have trusted Kamala Harris after Obama created the problem in the Ukraine, after Joe Biden exacerbated the problem in the Ukraine. Do y'all remember Joe Biden's son? Who remember Joe Biden's son? making millions on the board of a power company in Ukraine. So they were playing in the back door of the Ukraine. Did you know that? The Biden were playing in the back door. So that's why the American people didn't trust Kamala Harris to solve the problem in the Ukraine. I agree with the American people. After Barack Obama caused the issue in the Ukraine, after Joe Biden did nothing, he blamed Kamala for the border. Who you gonna blame for Afghanistan? Can we just have an honest talk this morning? Joe Biden allowed the Ukraine conflict. Why did Kamala give a speech talking about NATO? Why didn't Joe Biden, the president, go talk to Putin? Why didn't Joe Biden, the president, go talk to Putin? Why did Kamala give a speech about NATO in Ukraine? It doesn't make any sense. It never made any sense. Then we end up in a war, and then Joe has cognitive disabilities. No, we didn't trust Kamala to fix the problem. Kamala made the problem. The reason we have a war in Ukraine is because of the Democrats and Kamala poking the bear. Oh, the Ukraine can be part of NATO if they want to. No, and they're not. Now you're going to look at the deal. The Ukraine actually loses. Thank God we got Trump. We're going to make a deal for peace. Thank God we got Trump, and we're going to make thank God we got Trump, and we're going to make a deal for peace. Double tap hit the like button, everybody. You are in the number one place for geopolitical debate this morning. We're going to have a great talk this morning. Let's get to it, you guys. Let's get to it. European leaders back Zelensky amid U.S. peace plan pressure. Zelensky held joint calls with French President Macron, British Prime Minister Starmer, and German Chancellor Merz, expressing thanks for their support while discussing a framework for real peace. They welcome U.S. efforts under President Trump, but insisted any deal must respect Ukraine's sovereignty and current front lines as a basis. This guy is a clown. They are absolutely losing. There are people dying. Trump is trying to stop the dying, and he wants to be a damn comedian and a damn television show. And we got these Democrat liberal leaders in Europe, and we know about the Democratic liberal leadership in Europe because we can see the face of Europe changing. Do you really understand Brexit? Do you understand the cultural difficulties that they're facing now in the EU with the mass immigration? Did you hear the Japanese prime minister? Did you hear the brand new Japanese prime minister when she had her inauguration speech? And she said, we're stopping immigration. The Japanese prime minister echoed MAGA immigration talking points. She said, we're stopping all immigration in Japan. And when we start immigration back up in Japan, they have to be culturally sensitive, and we will not immigrate people who do not fit with the Japanese culture and who will try to shift and pervert the Japanese culture. Shout out to the brand new Japanese prime minister. Shout out to the brand new, and did you know about Trump signing a $500 billion deal with the Japanese for investment, about the trade deficits and about the tariffs? Did you hear about Toyota making a large investment in America? Did you hear about Toyota making a large investment in America against 5 states? Japan, while you were crying about food stamps, Trump was in Japan. Trump was in Japan making deals and securing jobs. Toyota just announced $900 million investment in auto plants across 5 states. Let's get back to Zelensky. We getting peace. We getting peace. The hostages are already home. Zelensky, listen. European leaders back Zelensky amid U.S. peace plan pressure. U.S. peace plan. Did you hear that? U.S. peace plan. U.S. peace plan. Zelensky held joint calls with French President Macron, British Prime Minister Starmer, and German Chancellor Merz, expressing thanks for their support while discussing a framework for real peace. Trump is offering real peace. Ukraine, you don't have anywhere to debate. Do y'all remember when Trump and J.D. Vance was telling him, you don't have no room, you can't debate, you don't have no leverage. Zelensky, sit down. They welcome U.S. efforts under President Trump, but insisted any deal must respect Ukraine's sovereignty and use Trump administration 28-point drafted reportedly seeks territorial concessions, army cuts, and NATO limits. That was the deal from the beginning. With warning of reduced U.S. aid if unmet soon. Leaders plan. Thank you, Trump. Trump is pulling aid to the UK. Trump is pulling aid to the Ukraine. That's what I'm talking about, baby. If they don't make the deal, they're going to be on their own. NATO limits with warnings of reduced U.S. if unmet soon. Leaders plan further coordination at G2 and EU Africa Union meetings shape the next meetings. Check this out. The Ukraine peace deadline looms. There's a Thanksgiving deadline. Trump reiterated in a Fox Friday News radio interview that Thanksgiving, November 27, is an appropriate time for the Ukraine to accept a 28-point peace plan, which includes frozen front lines, neutrality, no NATO, and military caps. Terms critics call a Kremlin wish list. Zelensky, you are dying, Ukraine. We're trying to stop you from getting taken over and stop World War III. Zelensky responded somberly yesterday, warning of risk to dignity. This is what, oh my God, this is what we were dealing with during the last administration. Not realistic, not real geopolitics. U.S. partnership. While European leaders, Macron pushed for stronger terms like no forced borders, then the French should take over. Macron, it's all yours. Do you hear what I said? I said the French could have it. The French can take over. Let the French, we're not even close to the Ukraine. If Europe, if France, Macron, they want to be in the shit, then that's why I love Trump. Trump said NATO is not putting up enough. NATO put up a shit up, then fine, Macron, you fight. You take on the dead bodies. They're right in your back door. Do y'all hear this shit? Macron pushed for stronger terms like no forced borders. How can Russia not have a border? France has a border. So Macron in France says Russia shouldn't have a border because if there's no border in the Ukraine don't have a border, but that means Russia doesn't have a border. And Russia is a global superpower. So why should Russia give concessions to the Ukraine? And why should Russia give up their border? That sounds like their last administration. No borders. Y'all don't hear what's going on? No borders. Kremlin calls it unknown. Pressure mounts as sanctions push. Lead Representative Brian Fitzpatrick aims to force a vote post-Thanksgiving. So this is what's going on. We got a 21-point peace plan. And Europe is hemming and hawing on the peace plan, right? Europe is hemming and hawing on the peace plan. And check this out. Let me go. Let me see. Let me see what else I got here. Let me see. I got some more details on this peace plan. Who created and wrote the peace plan? Who wrote the peace plan? Here we go. Let's be real, folks. For 3 straight years, we've been told Zelensky is some kind of Churchill in an olive t-shirt. Turns out he's just a bad actor and never-ending money laundering sequel nobody asked for. Money laundering back to the Biden administration. Last week, President Trump, yes, the real president, sat Zelensky down at a Resolute Desk and slid over the 28-point peace plan. 28 points, that most points than Zelensky has functioning berets right now. Trump's pointing at the paper like, sign it, save your people, go home a hero. Zelensky sweating bullets, little devil horns popping out screaming, no deal in his head. We all saw the body language. You saw the meeting, I saw the meeting. Here is a taste of what was on the 28-point plan Masterstroke, an immediate ceasefire. So listen to this. Within 11 months, we're going to have a ceasefire in Gaza and a ceasefire in the Ukraine. Right now, good morning. We are talking about peace in Russia and Ukraine. Right now, we have a deal on the table, a 28-point peace plan that Zelensky was shown. I'm going to go over the details right now. So when you go get your hair cut, when you go to the barbershop this weekend, when you go get your nails done, when you have a discussion about what is geopolitically going on in the world right now, well, we could have peace. We could have peace and no more killing in the Ukraine. But the Zelensky comedian TV star doesn't want to sign the deal, but he's going to get pressure. And he has a deadline by Thanksgiving. Let's go over. Here's just a taste of what's in the 28-point peace plan. An immediate ceasefire, frozen lines, No more 2014 border fairy tales. Listen to this. Frozen lines, real borders, and no more 2014 border fairy tales. Kamala, Biden, let's go. Neutrality for Ukraine. No NATO ever. That's how we got here. That's how we got here. Your borders are told the Ukraine that they could be part of NATO. And that was the one thing Putin wanted. So in the 28-point deal, Ukraine will never be part of NATO. The Ukraine will never be part of NATO under this 21-point deal, 28-point deal. Denazification. I love Trump. Denazification. I've been educating my audience on the Nazi effects as part of the Zelensky army. I told you about the Azov battalion. I told you about the Azov battalion. Double tap hit the like button. Why didn't Biden? If Biden and the Democrats are for the people, if Biden and for the Democrats are for minorities and for blacks and gays, why did Biden arm and train the Nazis? But in the Trump 28-point peace plan, it says denazification. Does anybody know who the Azov battalion is? I think I gotta teach you guys about the Azov battalion, because Azov battalion, because you guys don't understand how powerful Trump is, and what about this 28-point peace plan. So not only are we going to get a ceasefire, but this is what people like me have really been concerned about. Quick overview. The Azov battalion, this refers to a prominent, highly controversial Ukraine military unit based on real-time searches. Here's a comprehensive neutral breakdown from reliable sources. The Azov battalion has been restructured multiple times and is now officially the 12th Special Operation Brigade Azov. They never changed their name, right? Established May 5th, 2014 as a volunteer militia during pro-Russia unrest in eastern Ukraine, part of the Euromaidan revolutionary fallout. It started as a self-funded paramilitary group funded by oligarchs like Ihor Kolomoisky. Did you know that the oligarchs created and funded the Azov battalion? Role: far-right, all-volunteer infantry unit specializing in urban warfare and defense based in Mariupol, Azov Sea region, integrated into the Ukraine's National Guard on November 2014. It was integrated into the army. So it started off as a street gang, a Nazi street gang, and then that was funded by oligarchs and then got rolled into the army. Did you guys know that? So it expanded to a full brigade of almost 3,000 people. So we helped proliferate the Nazis. It was only 300 in the beginning, but then after the America got involved, Obama, that was the Obama administration in 2014. After oligarchs, we took the Azov battalion, a Nazi street gang, from 300 to 3,000. Thank you, Biden. Thank you, Biden. Now includes international battalion and foreign volunteers. So it's just, come on in. We just start the Nazis all over again. Symbolism uses wolf slang, a historical Nazi SS symbol, and its insignia, which has fueled accusation of neo-Nazism. Founded by Andriy Borisky, former far-right politician, leader of Patriot of Ukraine. Current commanders include let's get to the Nazi origins of Azov. Let's get right to it, because Trump said part of the deal, and is this making Putin a good guy? Because they don't want no Nazis in the Ukraine. They don't want no Nazis. The Azov battalion has officially the 12th Special Operation Brigade Azov has been the center of an intense debate over alleged neo-Nazi roots, especially since Russia's 2020 invasion of Ukraine, where Putin cited denazification as justification for the war. That's in the 28-point peace plan. While Azov have evolved from a voluntary initially into a military unit, its origins are undeniably tied to the far right. Let me read that again. The Azov Battalion origins are undeniably tied to the far right. And we exacerbated it. We took it from 300 to 3,000 under Biden. And to get peace, we got to get rid of the Nazis. To get peace in the Ukraine, we have to get rid of the Nazis. One of the number one points is denazification. I don't hear Zelensky talking about that. I don't hear Macron talking about that. I don't hear any Senate Democrats talking about. I don't hear Biden, Kamala ever mentioning denazification of the Ukraine. How did we support the Ukraine if it's full of Nazis? This is a real topic this morning. While the Azov Battalion volunteer militia became a professional military unit, its origins are undeniably in the far right, ultra-nationalist, and neo-Nazi. Listen to this. The Azov Battalion origins are ultra-nationalist and neo-Nazi. There's no denying that. The formation was in the 2014 at the conflict of annexation of Crimea to support the pro-Russian separatists. The key founder was a far-right activist, Andrew, and in an interview, when asked, what is the goal of the Azov Battalion, he said he wanted a global race war. That's what he said. The name was the Socialist National Assembly, the SNA, an ultra-nationalist group blending white supremacy with anti-Russian ideology. This is the details of the Ukraine. These are the people we're supporting. We're supporting a far-right group called the Patriot of Ukraine, a neo-Nazi street gang. Listen to this. The founder, Andriy Brzezinski, a far-right activist, led its creation, headed the Patriot of the Ukraine, a neo-Nazi street gang, and the Social National Assembly, SNA. I just want to give you that background, that the Azov Battalion was a neo-Nazi street gang. The initial recruitment, early members included neo-Nazis, white supremacists, and football hooligans. Please listen to the details I'm giving you this morning. Early members of the Azov Battalion, who are now military, the leader became a member of parliament. They made Andrew a leader in parliament. The leader, the white supremacist neo-Nazi Andrew, became a member of the Ukraine parliament that we support. We pay his salary. We pay the salary of neo-Nazis. Did you guys know that? Thank you, Biden. Early members include neo-Nazi white supremacists and football hooligans from ultra-nationalist circles. Funding came from oligarchs like Ohar Kolomoisky and Serhiy Torta. In 2015, Azov spokesman Andriy admitted to 10 to 20% of the recruits were Nazis. And they admitted that they recruit Nazis. So let's go back to the 28-point peace plan from Trump. And because Zelensky said no peace. Zelensky, Macron, I said let Zelensky and Macron have it. I say let Zelensky and Macron, since you guys want to support and back Nazis, I say let Zelensky and Macron have it. We're going to go over details. So what's in the 28-point peace plan? Why do they want to say no? Double tap at the like button. I'm going to ask a favor to everybody watching right now. If you're learning something, if you're benefiting, if you're being entertained, I'm going to ask you to double tap at the like button. I'm going to say thank you. I'm going to say thank you. Everybody watching right now, there are more people voting in the vote than they are hitting the like button. 100 of you have voted, but only 20 of you hit the like button. That is so funny. That is so funny. Come on, you guys, double tap at the like button. So immediate ceasefire, frozen lines, no more 2014 border frontiers, neutrality for Ukraine, no NATO ever, denazification. Yes, he kept the word based. And most importantly, no more blank checks from the American taxpayer. No more aid to Ukraine. And they got a deadline by Thanksgiving. Zelensky responds, I need another $60 billion, F-16 This is what Zelensky said. He needs $60 billion in F-16s. Zelensky thinks this is just an ATM. He thinks we're in another Vietnam, and he's going to just get rich off of this war. And he doesn't care about Ukraine's dying. Zelensky's response to the 28-point peace plan, he said, I need another $60 billion in F-16s from America. It's like we're fighting Russia. It's a proxy war. And bro, you lost half your country and all your electricity. Take the W and go home. Zelensky, you lost half your country and all your electricity. Take the W and go home. The same media that told you the laptop was Russian, this info now says Trump is abandoning the Ukraine. No, sweetie, Trump is abandoning the money laundering operation ran by the military industrial complex and every neocon think tank in DC. The quick math, we've sent over 200 billion. See, they don't talk about this when they talk about tariffs. They don't bring this up when they talk about trade because you got to bring up Biden and Kamala and Obama who got us in this problem. See, Trump has only been president for 10 months, and Trump is trying every day since he became president to get peace. But this conflict started 2 years ago. 2 years ago into the Biden administration and going back to 2014. We have sent $200 billion. We have sent $200 billion to the Ukraine. How much? Remember the $80 billion that Biden sent? Y'all remember that, right? That's enough to build a wall on every border and still have cash left for free chicken sandwiches for life. Who don't love a good chicken sandwich? Instead, we got blown up leopard tanks and TikTok videos. Trump plans end the war before Christmas. Can we get some real life in here? We got the government back open. The hostages are home, and Trump is trying to end the conflict in Ukraine before Christmas. He's the greatest president I've ever seen. He's the greatest president. He's only been in office 10 months. I said the Israeli hostages are home before Christmas. Home before Christmas. We have a peace plan in Gaza, and right now on the table, we have potential peace in the Ukraine before Christmas. Can anybody argue with that? Can anybody? Trump plans to end the war before Christmas. Zelensky wants to keep it going until the midterms of 2032. Who's the bad guy? Zelensky wants to keep, because Zelensky wants to he wants to become president again. This is what the Democrats do. They use pain, they use death to get reelected. Cha-ching, cha-ching. That's the sound of a grift dying, people. Every day, Zelensky says no deal. Another 500 Ukraine boys become fertilizer, barter fodder. Do y'all hear me? Every day, Zelensky says no deal. Another 500 Ukraine boys become barter fodder. Trump offered him an off-ramp, and he spits in his face. History will not be kind to the comedian TV star and Obama and Biden for getting us into this. Drop a let's go, Brandon, in the comments if you ready for peace through strength. This has been a brand new Perfect Timing podcast. Make sure you subscribe and share. Thanksgiving, Trump. Zelensky fails, hands Trump the win. Happy early Thanksgiving, everybody. Happy early Thanksgiving, Patriots. You're listening to the Perfect Timing Podcast, based and unafraid with your host, Perfect Timing Podcast. We roasting the Ukraine president with a side of crow. Donald Trump didn't just move the goalpost. He picked up the entire football field, flew at the Mar-a-Lago and said, game over, sign here, enjoy a Russian winter. He gave Zelensky until Thanksgiving to take the most generous peace deal any loser in history has ever been offered. That's right. Trump literally set a Thanksgiving deadline. You can't make this stuff up. It's the ultimate power move. Be thankful I'm saving what's left of your country or else. Meanwhile, Zelensky is out here doing cameos on CNN wearing the same green shirt he had on since 2022. Bro, I'm tired of Zelensky playing the character, bro. Even hobos change clothes. That shirt has seen more war crimes than The Hague. Trump, you know what I'm saying? Zelensky is like a deer in the headlights. You know what I'm saying? He wants to keep sending 19-year-olds into the meat grinder, assaults for villages with 12 babushkas and burned out T-72. Newsflash, Zelensky, the adults are back in charge, and we are tired of writing checks for your OnlyFans military. This Thanksgiving, Trump is carving the turkey, and Zelensky is the turkey, baby. Zelensky is getting carved up and cooked this morning. Happy Saturday morning. We talking about geopolitics. Double tap and hit the like button. Double tap and hit the like button. President Trump 28-point plan for peace in the Ukraine would force Kiev to give up initial territory in the east, cap the size of its military, and agree it will never join NATO, according to a draft obtained by the Perfect Timing podcast and verified by Ukraine officials. The U.S. officially and the source formally with a proposal. Why is this important? The U.S. side is pushing Ukraine to make a deal on an aggressive timeline. Trump has given Zelensky a Thanksgiving Day timeline. And despite the plan, including proposals Ukraine has repeatedly rejected up to now, President Vladimir Zelensky is not ruling it out. He better not. He has no choice. A senior White House official acknowledged the plan is not easy for Ukraine, but said the U.S. believes the war must end. If it doesn't, Ukraine is likely to lose even more territory. This is the first honest reflection of this conflict that you've actually heard. The Democrats and Biden told you, were talking to you as if Ukraine ever had a chance. The Ukraine does not have a chance against the Russian superpower, especially without the help of Donald Trump and the Americans. I don't know what's going on. I do not know what's going on here with the likes. Double tap hit the like button, man. Y'all having a lot of fun, man. Double tap hit the like button, man. Y'all gave me more votes. They gave me more votes. They gave me more votes. And this is evil. You know, some of you are just evil. I'm giving straight facts, and all I get is evil back. Let's have a good time on this Saturday. This is the best base podcast for geopolitics in the land. A senior White House official acknowledged that the plan is not easy. Let's do a quick catch up. The plan was drafted by Trump envoy Steve Witkoff. Let me give you some real details, right? Steve Witkoff, with input from Secretary of State Mark Rubio and Trump's son-in-law Jared Kushner. That's who created the 28-point peace plan. These are the similar individuals who created the 21-point peace plan for peace in Gaza. And we got the hostages back. Witkoff also consulted with Russia envoy Kirill Dmitriev on the plan. Dmitriev told Perfect Timing podcast he is optimistic about it because, unlike past efforts, we feel the Russian position is really being heard. And that's happening under Trump, baby. That's happening on. Shout out to Donald Trump. Shout out to this administration. We are really on the goal and the path to peace. How are we on the path to peace? I'm going to read it to you once again. So we got Steve Witkoff and we got Marco Rubio, Secretary of State, doing real politics, not like the old Secretary of State. But basically what they're saying is we have a true potential for peace because we're actually respecting Vladimir Putin as a superpower. And Biden administration and Kamala Harris did not give Russia and Putin the respect of being a global superpower. And now it is being respected in this point peace plan. And we got potential peace on the way before Christmas. After meeting, Dmitriev, Witkoff, and Kushner also discussed the plan with Zelensky. National Security Advisor Rustem Umerov, U.S. Army Secretary Dan Driscoll presented the plan to Zelensky on Thursday in writing. Afterwards, Zelensky said he was prepared to hold talks about it with Trump and his team. Between the lines, Zelensky described the plan as a U.S. vision, but not a final offer. He said the Ukraine had been clear about its red lines and would give its input to make the plan truly meaningful. A U.S. official also told me that the administration sees the plan as a live document. That means they're working it out. This is a negotiation. It's called a peace process. Can I get a hashtag peace process in the chat? This is real politics. This is how you get things done. It's the art of the deal. That can be changed based on discussions with the parties. The official claim Ukraine was positive about many of the points during the negotiations and managed to incorporate some of its own positions. Of course, Trump has also given his personal endorsement of the plan. Let's go, Maga. Trump has also given his personal endorsements of the plan, the full details of which have been previously published. We are making a serious effort to find a solution that will end the war in the Ukraine, baby. Trump said we are working to make a serious effort to find a solution that will end the war in the Ukraine. What are we talking about this morning? What are we talking about this morning? That's right, peace process. Shout out to you, Mix them up. Shout out to you, peace process. What are we talking about this morning? Peace in Russia and denazification. Getting rid of the Nazis, getting rid of the Azov battalion. You know, the Nazis that Biden trained. You know, the Nazis that Biden gave money to. You know, the Nazis that the Democratic Party took from 300 to 3,000. Yeah, Trump says no more Nazis. Biden in the last administration was okay with the Nazis, but in this peace plan, it's called denazification. You know what I'm saying? Denazification. Let's have a good talk this morning. Let's keep going. Let's zoom in. In addition to the territorial concessions asked of Ukraine, the document says there would be a decisive coordinated military response in the event of further Russian incursions onto the Ukraine territory. So there are protections for the Ukraine built into this peace plan. And I believe Putin doesn't want any further conflict. They have bigger fish to fry. It does not say what role the U.S. would play in such a response. I say let the Macronis do it. I say let the French handle anything. If Russia gets out of line, I say we wash our hands. I say we let France handle it. The plan also includes economic components that would see some frozen Russian assets go toward rebuilding the Ukraine. Sanctions on Russia lifted, and the U.S. and Russia agreeing to partner long-term in areas like AI and mining, and Russia returning to the G8. So we're going to really do geopolitics. Do y'all hear the details of this? So this is not just, I love Trump. It's not just about peace. It's not just about denazification. But do you see the last part? It says that Russia will be back in the G8 and that the U.S. and Russia will become trade partners again. This will affect BRICS. This will help the dollar. We need the mining that Russia has to build the semiconductor chips for Web 3.0 and the supercomputers of the future. You may not know about Taiwan. You may not know about semiconductor chips. You may not know about these minerals in China and Russia that we need for the next future wave of computing in this globe. But MAGA knows the climate. MAGA knows the climate. Double tap, hit the like button. Double tap, hit the like button. Everybody watching right now, back at it like a crack at it, automatic like a fomatic, built for tragedy, made for static. It's your boy, Perfect Timing Podcast, back with the blast, in and out with a dash. 2025 won't last. We're going to get this done real fast. We talking about peace in the Middle East this morning. And we're doing a great job. I'm proud of everybody in the chat. Thank you, everybody in the chat. That's double tap and hit the like button. So you heard about the 28-point peace plan. So this is what Zelensky is saying. This is what Zelensky did after reading the 28-point peace plan put together by Wilkoff and Pritzner. Zelensky held joint calls with French President Macron, British Prime Minister Starmer, and German Chancellor Merz, expressing thanks for their support while discussing a framework for real peace. They welcome U.S. efforts under President Trump, but insisted any deal must respect Ukraine's sovereignty. They don't have sovereignty. And use current front lines as a basis. No, that's not in the deal. With nothing decided without Ukraine's input, the Trump administration's 28-point plan reportedly seeks territorial concessions, army cuts, and NATO limits, with warnings of reduced U.S. aid if unmet soon. Leaders plan to further coordination at the G20 and EU-Africa Union meetings shape the next steps. So we talking about peace before Christmas. We talking about peace before Christmas. Shout out to the G20. Shout out to the G20. Shout out to the details that we got coming right now, baby. Shout out to the details. What else we got? What else we got, baby? I got some more for you. Trump urges Ukraine to accept peace plan by Thanksgiving after Zelensky warns Kiev risk losing U.S. support. That's what they talking about. Let me see.
Syndrome. The White House refuse illegal orders. Tonight, President Trump defending his suggestion that 6 Democratic...
No, that's not what we on. President Donald Trump said Friday that he wants Ukraine to accept the new peace plan. So if you look at my thumbnail, what we saying is Zelensky said no. Zelensky is hemming and hawing. Trump gave Zelensky a deadline. President Trump said Friday that he wants the Ukraine to accept a new peace deal by Thanksgiving. The Thanksgiving deadline. That's the name of the show today. Thanksgiving deadline. That's Turkey Day, Zelensky. And you are the turkey on the table. By Thanksgiving, after Ukraine President Vladimir Zelensky warned the deal was forcing his country to choose between dignity and a key partner. It sounds like a damn idiot. It's giving you an option for freeing and saving the lives of Ukraine boys and citizens. Let me get these clowns up out of here, man. Shout out to everybody watching. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody watching. Thank you, everybody, for your support. Thank you for everybody watching. Thank you for your support. Double tap at the like button. Thank you for everybody watching. Thank you for your support. Thank you for everybody watching. Thank you for your support. Thank you for everybody watching. Thank you for your support. We just clean up the chat real quick. Y'all know how it go. Peace process. We just clean up the chat. Y'all know how it go. We want everybody to enjoy themselves. We want everybody to enjoy themselves. We want everybody to enjoy themselves, enjoy the podcast. We want you to enjoy yourself. We want you to enjoy yourself and enjoy the podcast. You can disagree. I don't know why you don't see how good Donald Trump is. You can disagree all you want. Just show respect to the channel and the moderators. Double tap, hit the like button, everybody. Double tap, hit the like button, everybody. Double tap, hit the like button, everybody. President Donald Trump said Friday he wants the Ukraine to accept a new peace deal by Thanksgiving after the Ukraine President Vladimir Zelensky warned the deal was forcing his country to choose between dignity and a key partner. Let me know in the chat. Do you agree? Is this deal a good deal for Ukraine or not? The White House wants Kiev to sign off on the framework to end the war in the Ukraine based upon U.S. crafted 28-point peace plan by Thursday, according to 3 U.S. officials. Trump said in an interview on Brian Kilmeade's radio show Friday that the deadline is an appropriate time limit and said that he has no plans to lift U.S. sanctions on Russia while the administration waits for their response. To the peace proposal, the president also suggested that Ukraine would lose in a short period of time because the Ukraine lost. And we always knew that Ukraine could not beat Russia. They're losing land, Trump said about Ukraine. At the gathering of reporters at the White House on Friday, listen to this. Trump said that the plan is a way of getting peace that needs to be approved by Zelensky. He'll have to like it. If he doesn't like it, then you know they should keep fighting, I guess, Trump said. Keep dying is the real thing. He added, well, at some point, he's going to have to accept something. You know he hasn't accepted. You remember right in the Oval Office not so long ago, I said you don't have the cards. I remember J.D. Vance was right there next to him. That was a great visual for both President and Vance. The U.S. communicated Thursday the deadline to Ukraine government through officials stressed this was more of a goal than a firm deadline. I'm calling it a deadline. Negotiations to end the conflict are expected to be quite complex. It will take more than a week to hash out, these officials acknowledged. On reports that the U.S. threatened to halt intelligence sharing weapon supplies for the Ukraine and money if the deal is rejected. A senior official said, A senior official said it was strongly implied to the Ukrainians that the United States expects them to agree to the peace deal. Any changes will be decided upon the president himself. This is one of the most difficult moments in our history, Zelensky said. This is the difficult moment. I would think the most difficult moment is all of your men dying. And when we wake up in 2026, you realizing that you don't even have enough young men to have an army anymore, and you're going to need Russia to protect you. There's so many realities we're missing here. Currently, the pressure on the Ukraine is one of the hardest. He said, Ukraine may now face a very difficult choice, either losing its dignity or risk losing a key partner. What about losing lives? Who put Zelensky in office? He's not a king. Vote Zelensky out. If you care about life and death and the quality of life, Ukraine people ever having jobs, going to school, and having a normal life, you got to get rid of Zelensky, this damn idiot. He keeps saying the same stupid shit. He says, who said the decision for the Ukraine is between dignity and losing a key partner. No, it's about you losing everything, Zelensky. And 500 Ukrainian men die every day you don't make this deal. That's the numbers. 500 Ukrainians die every day you don't make this deal. And I don't know what he's talking about, dignity and the key partner. It sounds like some bullshit that he wrote down on a piece of paper, but it's not about the blood that's been spilled over the past 3 years. It has nothing to do with the blood or the money. $200 billion that America, and you cannot continue to fight the war without money from America. Zelensky added, urging the nation to stay united during what he said is a very difficult, eventful week. Listen to the Russian President Vladimir Putin. Vladimir Putin struck a more upbeat note, saying that the plan could form the basis for a final peace agreement. I'm going to read that again. This is Vladimir Putin. This is Vladimir Putin. Russian President Vladimir Putin struck a more upbeat note, saying the plan could form the basis of a peace settlement. Though he said it had not been discussed substantively with Russia, Putin said if the Ukraine rejects the proposal, Russia would seek to achieve its objectives through military means. Wow. Zelensky got to go. Zelensky's going to cause more death, though armed struggle. The stark warnings came as Ukraine and its allies raced to respond to the proposal that would grant Russia key demands at a moment of weakness for Zelensky. Zelensky later shared that he spoke with the Vice President J.D. Vance and the Army Secretary Dan Driscoll for almost an hour on Friday. That's why we're giving this news out today, Saturday morning. I wanted to give it to you fresh off the presses. We agreed to work together with the U.S. and the EU at a level of national security advisors to make the path to peace truly doable, Zelensky said. The Ukraine has always respected and continues to respect U.S. President Donald Trump. You better desires to put an end to the bloodshed. Now we talking, baby. We don't care about your dignity. We don't care about partners in trade because the Ukraine needs to be rebuilt. You don't have any trade partners because the Ukraine is not going to be able to produce anything for the next 10 years. Why is he talking about a partner when there is no partner for the Ukraine? Your partner is your neighbor, which is Russia. This is idiotic, you guys. The Kremlin maintains that it had not seen details of the plan, but urged Ukraine to make a reasonable decision in light of the battlefield pressure, which means Russia is kicking their ass and people are dying every day. And it sounds like Vladimir wants to start killing people because the Ukrainians are like Russians. Zelensky had an urgent phone call with leaders from Britain, Germany, and France, after which he said he valued Trump's efforts and would keep working with American officials to ensure Kiev's principles stance are taken into account. The certain emergency plans has fueled unease across the continent, with fears of imposing major concessions on Ukraine could further embolden that same Cold War bullshit. What we talking about? He's a dictator with blood on his soul. Who's a dictator with blood on his soul? The only dictator I see is Zelensky, who acting like a king, like he has the power to stop peace. Who are you, Zelensky? Zelensky don't have the power to stop peace and to stop the killing. Who? Because we want peace. I don't understand what you're talking about. We want peace. I don't know what you want, but we want peace, homeboy. We want peace. And Zelensky they are dying. Did you hear what I said? They are dying. 500, let me go back to my facts. 500 Ukrainians are dying every day. Listen to this. Every day Zelensky says no deal. Another 500 Ukraine boys become barter fodder. Do you understand that? So who is the real bad guy? Every day Zelensky says no deal, another 5, because every day that you're having this bullshit talk in the chat, they at war right now. People are dying right now today. As you bullshit in the chat, people gonna die today. As you just say some funny little bullshit, someone is dying today. 500 men are dying. People losing husbands and fathers while you bullshit in the chat. At this point in my life, I really think there's a form of government that we won't screw up. Kings are bad. I hope you ain't talking about kings. See, this is the dumb shit that the Democrats talk about. How you gonna talk about a king? Trump has been in office 10 months. You want to talk about a king? You want to talk about Nancy Pelosi? You want to talk about Joe Biden? What the fuck are you talking about when you mean king? You sound fucking stupid. Trump has been in office 10 months, but Biden was in power over 40 fucking years. Nancy Pelosi was in power over 40 fucking years. Nancy Pelosi had $3 million when she became a congresswoman. She is going to retire in 2026 with $400 fucking million. Joe Biden's son made millions of dollars in the Ukraine. Joe Biden's son did cocaine, crack, and prostitutes across the whole world and got a pardon. What the fuck are you talking about? Joe Biden was the senator for over 20 years. He helped pass the crime bill. Then he became vice president in 2008. Nobody ever wondered how fucking long has he been in fucking Congress? How fucking long has Joe Biden been in politics? He did the crime bill in 93, 2008. That's another 20 years. How long was he there before 93? 20 years, 20 years, 20 years, 20 years. Then he was in the White House for 8 years. You gave Joe Biden 8 years in the White House as vice president. Then you sent him back to the White House for 4 more years. That's 12 years in the White House. You fucking idiot. That's 12 years in the White House. Donald Trump has been president 10 months. That's math. That's 1 + 1. Do you know what the minimum wage is? Since we're talking about kings and you broke and your life is shit, do you know what the minimum wage is? The minimum wage is $7.25. It's not the fact that it's $7. It's the fact that it's been $7 for over 20 fucking years. And do you know when the minimum wage stopped going up? Do you know when the minimum wage stopped going up? It stopped going up when the king of Wakanda, the black Obama, the black Mamba, the black mama, Barack Obama became president. Yeah, you know the first black president, your favorite black king, the king of Wakanda, the Black Panther. Well, when the Black Panther became president, the goddamn minimum wage stopped going up. American wages went stagnant. Your quality of life went stagnant. But you know what also happened? You know what also happened? When the minimum wage froze, Barack Obama gave Jamie Dimon, JP Morgan, and Chase $17 million fucking bonuses. Yes, Barack Obama and the Democrats gave out motherfucking $1 million bonuses after they stole your grandmama's mortgage. That is the motherfucking king. Who is the king of Wakanda? Who is the king of motherfucking Wakanda? Do you know why the government was shut down? Since we're talking about kings, do you know why the government? Because Barack Obama, your black mama, the king of Wakanda, made a bullshit bill called the Affordable Care Act that couldn't pay for itself. And you celebrate him. You champion Barack Obama because of the Affordable Care Act, and it ain't shit. The Affordable Care Act was shit when he created it. It was shit balls then, it's shit balls now. Barack Obama's presidency was a bunch of bullshit he gave out. Do you know, who knows what quantitative easing is? Who knows about quantum? How many fucking millionaires and billionaires did Barack Obama create while wages stayed stagnant? So you got to talk about the complete picture, you fucking moron. The complete picture is Barack Obama made a lot of motherfuckers rich. Barack Obama made a lot of motherfuckers wealthy while they were already fucking wealthy, but your wages stayed stagnant. Your wages stayed stagnant. But Jamie Dimon got multi-million-dollar bonuses. JP Morgan and Chase, after they lost all that money in mortgages, remember they combined rocket mortgages, quick loans, they combined them together and lost all of the fucking money. America had to bail them out. Oh, we'll bail you out. And what the fuck did they do with the money? Pay bonuses. But you didn't get shit. Your grandmother lost your house and minimum wage got frozen at $7 fucking dollars. These are the truths that your fucking Democrat Party won't be honest. They gave out millions and you got $7 an hour. People were made rich and you got $7 an hour. Oh yeah, Jeffrey Epstein, can we have a real talk this morning? Jeffrey Epstein was released early from prison. So wait a minute. Jamie Dimon, JP Morgan, Wall Street. Do you remember Occupy Wall Street? Do you remember TARP? Do you remember that? And then what happened was you guys, you don't get shit. This is the real king. This is the real king. That's your real king. So your wages were frozen. That's your real king. Huh? That's your real king. Since we're talking about kings, I love talking about kings. Nancy Pelosi, $400 million. Do you know what the big, beautiful bill is? Do you know why the government was shut down? The government was shut down because the Democrats wrote a shitty bill. Do you know what a bill is? Do you know what a bill is? See, a bill is what becomes a law. The Democrats wrote a shitty bill called the Affordable Care Act. Barack Obama signed it into law, even though it could not pay for itself. So you know what the Democrats did? You know what the Democrats did? Damn, I keep trying to get rid of you, and I'm cooking. Let me report you. There you go. Report this bitch. Bye, bitch. God damn. Report this bitch. Yeah, okay, let's report this bitch. All right. Report this bitch. All right. 500 people are dying every day in the Ukraine until we get peace. Trump has a deadline by Thanksgiving. How many dead bodies is that? That's another 3,000 dead bodies on Zelensky's head. Huh? That's another 3,000 dead bodies on Zelensky's head. That's another 3,000 dead bodies. He could have signed a peace deal on Friday. This is just like Chicago. Do you guys remember Chicago when Trump was going to send the National Guard to Chicago before Labor Day, and 9 people died that weekend? And I said that those deaths should be on the mayor's head, because if the National Guard was sent to Chicago during Labor Day weekend, those people would be alive. If Zelensky would have signed a peace deal on Friday, 3,000 Ukrainian young men would still be alive. Somebody Google it. Somebody Google it for me, because my numbers are telling me 500 people a day are dying in the Ukraine. So every day that Zelensky does not sign a peace agreement, that's 500 Ukraine. How many people dead if he doesn't sign until Thursday? This is just like the Democrats in Chicago who want people to die. Do you know what happens in Chicago if the National Guard and the ICE goes to Chicago? Death stops. Just like in Memphis, just like in DC, if the National Guard goes to Chicago, I know a lot of you may not like it. It may be painful, but you know what happens? People stop getting murdered. And you know what's the sad part about Chicago and the murder in Chicago and the people dying in Chicago, the people dying in Memphis? They're Black people. Everybody in the chat keeps calling me all these names. And I know you're a troll and I know you're an idiot. You're calling me all these names because of my skin color. Let me say something to everybody watching. Let me bust your bubble. Just because of this skin color does not mean I have to be loyal to a political party. That is racist. And it is a shame no one educated you. Just because you see this skin color and you assume racial loyalty to a political party, that is racist. You cannot expect racial loyalty to a political party. That is racist. My race has nothing to do with my political affiliation. I vote my economics. I vote my environment. I vote my intellect. And when you see my skin color and you automatically assume Democrat, that is racist. When you see my skin color and you don't like the conservative Republican talking points because you assume that someone with this skin color should be saying liberal talking points, that is racist. It is un-American. You are expecting racial loyalty based on my skin color to a particular party. It is idiotic. It is idiotic. Are we clear? Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Double tap, hit the like button. Double tap, hit the like button. Double tap, hit the like button. They didn't like that. They never like intelligent facts. They never like intelligent facts. They see a black man and they want the black man to talk Democrat, and they don't understand how that's racist. You don't understand how that's you expect racial loyalty to a certain party. That's why the Democrats lost. That's why Trump is president. See, Barack Obama made a speech. Barack Obama tried to make men like me feel bad. You guys remember Barack Obama tried to say your mama is black and you have to be Democrat if you're a black man and vote for Kamala. Barack Obama tried to berate men like me. Barack Obama said, if I don't vote for Kamala, there's something wrong with me. That's what Barack Obama said. Barack Obama said, if I don't vote for Kamala, then there's something wrong with me, right? Thank you, sir. Shout out to BJ. Shout out to BJ. I'm doing my job, man. You just hit the base bunker. You just hit the base bunker with the truth hammer. Today we're counting the house money while the Ukraine casino burns down. Title of today's episode, Zelensky epic blunder. Why Trump peace push is America's winning hand. Picture this, Oval Office, Resolute Desk. Trump got the golden halo, red Maga on the corner like a cherry top. He slides a 28-point peace plan over to Zelensky. It's so beautiful. It should be framed in the Louvre. Zelensky got the devil horn, steam coming out of his ears, yelling, no deal, no deal, no deal. Like he's on a TV show with Howie Mandel, just offered him $100 million. This man turned down the biggest layup in geopolitical history because of ego, because the Biden crime family still needs another session to launder money, because BlackRock hasn't finished buying all of the farmland yet. Trump played 4D chess. Zelensky is still trying to figure out checkers. Every hour he delays, Russia takes another village, and Russia is not giving it back. So every day, 500 Ukrainians die, and Russia is not going to stop advancing into Ukrainian territory until they sign the deal. Is anybody knowing these details? Every hour he delays, Russia takes another village. Every day he says no, another billion of your money vanishes into the Ukrainian black hole. Trump's message was crystal clear. You had a chance to be a wartime hero, now a peacetime hero, or be a footnote in history. America first means we stop paying Europe's 30-year vacation from reality. Say it again. America first means we stop paying Europe 30-year vacation reality. The rest of the world is watching and leaning and learning. When Trump offers you a deal, you take the deal. When Trump offers you a deal, you take the deal. Zelensky just flopped harder than LeBron. And Trump, he's crashing out with the full house. Peace, strength, and gratitude of every American taxpayer. I'm all in, baby. Let me know in the comments which script you want to follow. Will we be dropping one of the second gets signed? We're dropping one of these. The second the deal gets signed, or the second Zelensky gets replaced. Whichever comes first. Until next time, we got a lot of news to talk about. Key facts backing the Mirage narrative. This is a real 28-point peace plan drafted by Trump's team, primarily envoy Steve Witkoff and input from Jared Kushner and Mark Rubio. It was delivered to Zelensky in Kiev on November 20th by U.S. Army Secretary Dan Driscoll. Yes, the Army, not the State Department, because Trump trusts warriors over diplomats. Trump personally confirmed on Fox News Radio that a Thanksgiving Day deadline, November 27th, is appropriate for Ukraine to accept the deal or it gets harder. Even said deadlines can be flexible if progress is made. The plan requires major concessions from the Ukraine, frozen lines, territory recognition, no NATO, military caps, but also gives security guarantees. Remember, we mentioned that earlier. There is a security guarantee that if Russia starts up the bullshit again, that someone is going to help, but it's not going to be America. It doesn't say in the peace plan. Listen to this. There is a security clause in the peace plan, but it does not spell out that America will be the police anymore for Ukraine. Make America great again. America first. America is not the police for the Ukraine or Europe anymore. The real deal versus endless blank checks. Zelensky's response so far, we will work on it. Zelensky is letting people die and giving up a room every day. But I think he thinks that the Democrats is going to win. I think Zelensky thinks he can draw this out until the next presidential election. He gets a Democrat, and the Democrats push this to World War III. And then Zelensky gets rich, and all the oligarchs get what they want. This is a scary situation, and Zelensky is not a politician. This is Zelensky's first time in the role of president. He was not a Congress or senator before. He was on television. This is his first geopolitical conflict. He's never dealt with war. He's never dealt with politics. He's never dealt with geopolitics. He's never dealt with peace agreements. He's never dealt with conflict. He was a comedian and a television actor, and he was put in this position by Barack Obama in 2014. So his response is actually understood given his breadth of knowledge. We will work on it honestly, but privately, he's telling the nation this is one of the most difficult moments in our history, and it forces the Ukraine to choose in the same stupid shit we're going to keep hearing between dignity and keeping the U.S. support. You lost our support. You already lost our support. I don't know what you're talking about, boy. You already lost our support. Talking about, what is he talking about, y'all? What is he talking about? Man, where's the peace plan? Let me see. I'm looking for peace. Where's the peace plan? Where's the peace plan? You know, come on, Grok. What's up with my peace plan video?
Absent one.
How y'all doing this morning? Oh my God. Y'all playing with me this morning. Y'all playing with me this morning, man. All right. They playing with us this morning. Let me see what we could get for you guys. Let me see. Double tap, hit the like button. We should have had 100 likes 5 minutes ago. What afraid to answer my question? Randy got some questions. Put it in the super chat, Randy. Put it in the super chat, broke boy. You so bold about your question. Put it in the super chat, broke boy. Put it in the super chat, broke boy. Put it in the super chat, broke boy. You so bold and brave. Let everybody see your question. Put it in the super chat. You won't answer my question. Yo, punk ass won't put it in the super chat, broke boy. I'm busy, broke boy. Put it in the super chat, broke boy. Huh? Double tap at the like button. Put it in the super chat, broke boy. I don't see no super chat. I don't see no super chat, broke boy. I think the cheapest super chat is like $2 or something like that, but it's okay, broke boy. Broke boy wants to make a comment. Broke boy. Oh, answer my question.
З найважчих моментів нашої історії. Зараз тиск на Україну один з найважчих. Зараз Україна може опинитися перед дуже складним вибором. Або втрата гідності, або ризик втрати ключового партнера. Або складні 28 пунктів, або вкрай важка зима. Найважча та подальші ризики. Національний український інтерес має бути врахований. Ми не робимо гучних заяв, ми будемо спокійно працювати з Америкою та усіма партнерами. Буде конструктивний пошук рішень з нашим головним партнером. Я буду наводити аргументи, я буду переконувати, пропонувати альтернативи, але точно ми не дамо ворогу приводів сказати, що це Україна не хоче миру, що це вона зриває процес і це Україна не готова до дипломатії. Але і Європа, і весь світ мають розуміти і іншу правду, що українці перш за все.
The Ukrainians are first and foremost people. This clown is going to cost people lives. Why is he saying it in Ukraine? Why is he? $200 billion have come from America. You're making a plea to Europe and America, English-speaking countries. Why is he speaking in Ukraine/Russian? If he is asking for understanding, he is a fucking idiot. This is a fucking clown show. I can't understand this shit, but you want F-16s. You want billions of American dollars. You don't even respect me enough to speak English. Fuck you.
Люди, і ми майже 4 роки повномасштабного вторгнення стримуємо одну з найбільших армій світу. І ми тримаємо лінію фронту у кілька тисяч кілометрів. І наш народ щоночі переживає обстріли, ракетні атаки, удари балістики, удари шахедів. І наші.
Every night, rocket attacks, ballistic strikes. Every night, that's what we say. 500 Ukrainians die every day. He doesn't take the peace deal. 500 Ukrainian men die every day, and Russia continues to advance. Russia, the super global power, nuclear global power. Ukraine is not nuclear. Ukraine is not a super fucking power. Russia is nuclear and a super fucking power. They are killing 500 Ukrainians every day, and they make advancements every fucking day. Please keep that in mind as you listen to this bullshit.
Ці люди щодня втрачають когось із своїх близьких. І наші люди дуже хочуть, аби ця війна закінчилась. Ми, звісно, сталеві, але будь-який, навіть найміцніший метал може не витримати.
America is extorting them. Are you high? America, $200 billion. Do you don't remember the $80 billion that Biden gave? How can America be extorting them? $200 billion is what we gave them. Just to begin with, how is America extorting them? $200 billion thus far. And this is what he said. He wants another $16 billion. He wants another $16 billion and F-16s. Do you know how much an F-16 costs? Do you know how much an F-16 costs? How is America extorting the Ukraine when the oligarchs are the one funding the neo-Nazi Azov battalion? Do you know what I love most about the 28-point plan? You know what I love most about the 28-point plan is that first, the work that independent media has done exposing the Nazi resurgence in the Europe. I am one of those independent media who exposed the neo-Nazis are on a comeback. The neo-Nazis are on a comeback in Europe. There is something called the Azov Battalion. Going back to 2014, we taught you about these neo-Nazis. The Biden Obama presidency trained and funded the Azov Battalion and backed the neo-national Nazi Azov Battalion into becoming part of the Ukrainian military. The leader of these neo-Nazis, Andrew, became part of the parliament. This is the truth. And you know what's a number one part? You know what's a number one part of the 28-point peace plan? Denazification. That's a number one part of the 28-point peace plan. Denazification. No more Nazis. No more Azov Battalion. No more neo-nationalists in the Ukrainian parliament being paid by American dollars. How about that? How about no more neo-Nazis in the parliament of the Ukraine being supported by American dollars? Huh?
This war, including at the leaders' level, our red lines are clear and unwavering. There will never be any recognition, formal or otherwise, of Ukrainian territory temporarily occupied by the Russian Federation as Russian. Our land is not for sale. Ukraine has officially received from the American side a draft plan. We outline the fundamental principles that matter to our people. We agree to work on the plan's provisions in a way that would bring about a just end of the war.
Today, what are we talking about today? Today, we are talking about Ukraine. Ukraine rejects 28-point peace plan at the UN. Do you understand what the discussion this morning? We are having a discussion. We potentially could have peace by Christmas. We potentially could have peace by Christmas. But we are discussing a 28-point peace plan that the Ukraine just said no to in the UN. And I'm going to give you details and video proof so you can make up your own mind and make your own decision.
In this context, allow me to make several critical points. First, while Ukraine stands ready to engage in meaningful negotiations to end this war, including at the leaders' level, our red lines are clear and unwavering. There will never be any recognition, formal or otherwise, of Ukrainian territory temporarily occupied by the Russian Federation as Russian. Our land is not for sale. Ukraine will not accept any limits on its right to self-defense or on the size and capabilities of our armed forces. Nor will we tolerate any infringement on our sovereignty, including our sovereign right to choose the alliances we want to join. Any genuine peace process must respect a fundamental principle: nothing about Ukraine without Ukraine, and nothing about Europe without Europe. And let me be equally clear, we will not reward the genocidal intent that underpins Russian aggression by undermining our identity, including our language. Second, support for Ukraine is indispensable. Peace requires strengthened security and sustained financial assistance to Ukraine, reinforcing Ukraine's defense capability.
Did you hear that part? Did you hear that part? They are not willing to concede anything, and then she slips in there. In order for us to keep up this charade, this mirage, you got to pay for it. So what she says is, we're not going to change nothing. We're not going to change our language. We're not going to stop being Nazis and racist. Think about this. They don't want to give up the neo-Nazis. That's our culture. Do you understand? There are people like Nick Fuentes and white people in America who want to defend neo-nationalism and white supremacy and Nazi. There are Europeans that say neo-Nazi supremacy is their culture. She doesn't want to give up white supremacy. She doesn't want to give up neo-Nazi culture. She doesn't want to give up anything, including her language. And she says, in order for me to keep this, you have to pay for it. I'm going to replay that. I need you to listen closely, because people are saying that we are the ones who are trying to hustle the Ukraine. Please listen to this beautiful blonde woman hustle you out of your tax dollars. She just said to you what you have to pay for. She's going to hustle you out of your tax money.
Be equally clear, we will not reward the genocidal intent that underpins Russian aggression by undermining our identity, including our language. Second, support for Ukraine is indispensable. Peace requires strengthened security and sustained financial assistance to Ukraine. Reinforce
peace. requires strength and security and sustained financial assistance to Ukraine. Peace requires strength and sustained, not just a little bit of money, but she says sustained financial assistance. How long do we have to pay the Ukraine? How long? Listen.
Fully clear, we will not reward the genocidal intent that underpins Russian aggression by undermining our identity, including our language. Second, support for Ukraine is indispensable. Peace requires strengthened security and sustained financial assistance to Ukraine.
Sustained financial assistance. Sustained. Anybody in the chat know what sustained mean? Not temporary financial assistance. She said peace requires sustained financial assistance. Right? We're not giving up our language. We're not giving up anything in order, and said unwavering support for Ukraine. And if we're going to have peace, we need sustained. That's welfare. That's socialism. That's welfare. The Ukraine is now a welfare recipient of the United States. Thank you, Biden. That is welfare. Sustained financial. Am I the only one hearing this? That's why we don't have a peace plan. That's why we don't have a peace plan. If we get a peace plan, then the Ukraine got to take care of themselves. If we do peace, then Ukraine got to pay for their own shit.
Nor will we tolerate.
Let me say one more thing. Let me say one more thing to all the men watching. If you are such a badass, young lady, if you are such a badass and you're going to tell the whole world you're not going to change shit, then you need to be able to protect that. Do you understand? That's how real men work. If you're going to sit on that stage and say, I'm not going to change anything, then you need to have a gun and you need to protect your opinion. You cannot sit on that stage and say, I'm not going to move, but America is going to have my back. That's bullshit. That's pussy and that's bullshit. Don't get on that stage and say what you not going to do when you don't have the ability to back up your words. She can't back up those words. I'm pissed off this morning. She can't back up those words, you guys. She needs American tax dollars. She needs American soldiers. She needs American bullets to back up that bullshit. This is sick. If you ain't gonna change your language, if you ain't gonna change your culture, then fight your own damn war.
Tolerate any infringement on our sovereignty, including our sovereign right to choose the alliances we want to join. Any genuine peace process must respect a fundamental principle: nothing about Ukraine without Ukraine, and nothing about Europe without Europe. And let me be equally clear, we will not reward the genocidal intent that underpins Russian aggression by undermining our identity, including our language. Second, support for Ukraine is indispensable. Peace requires strengthened security and sustained financial assistance to Ukraine. Reinforcing Ukraine's defense capabilities is not an escalation. It is the only path to compelling Russia to engage constructively in international peace efforts.
So that means she wants to be nuclear. I know it's not enough intelligent people paying attention. That means she wants to go nuclear. Do you understand what she just said? That means she wants to go nuclear, and she's asking America. She aligned the Ukraine interests with European interests. The Ukraine is not in NATO. That's how we got here. She is saying she wants to be part of NATO. How many people can understand English? How many people can hear what she is saying? I know there's a lot of trolls and a lot of idiots, but I need the intelligent people who can hear what she's saying. She aligned the Ukraine views with EU. She said no Ukraine without Ukraine, just like no EU without EU. That is saying I want to be part of NATO. And then she is saying that when you reinforce our strategic ability to defend ourselves against a Russia, the only way you do that is with nuclear arms, because Russia is nuclear. So this is what the problem was the whole time. Because when Kamala Harris was floating the idea of the Ukraine becoming part of NATO, what was the whole thing about the Ukraine becoming part of NATO? It was missiles. It was the Ukraine become part of NATO, and we put nuclear missiles on Russia's border. And Russia knew this the whole time. There's a lot of idiots in the chat. There's a lot of idiots in the chat don't understand what this is about. The Ukraine can never be part of NATO because Putin and Russia would never allow nuclear missiles or a NATO missile base on its border. That's what this has always been about. The sad part is there's not enough intelligent people watching. I'm going to let it play again. And let's see, she has leverage. The U.S. does not want Russia to have Ukraine's resources. So what is the solution? She doesn't have any leverage. We don't give a fuck about the resources in Ukraine. What leverage does she have? Come on, man. Just pay attention. We're going to listen to what I'm talking about.
Formal or otherwise, of Ukrainian territory temporarily occupied by the Russian Federation as Russian. Our land is not for sale. Ukraine will not accept any limits on its right to self-defense or on the size and capabilities of our armed forces. Nor will we tolerate any infringement on our sovereignty, including our sovereign right to choose the alliances we want to join. Any genuine peace process must respect a fundamental principle: nothing about Ukraine without Ukraine, and nothing about Europe without Europe.
Did you hear that? Nothing about Ukraine without Ukraine, and nothing without Europe without Europe. That is a nod to NATO. That is a nod to NATO. It is linking the Ukraine with Europe, and that is never going to happen.
Europe without Europe. And let me be equally clear, we will not reward the genocidal intent that underpins Russian aggression by undermining our identity, including our language. Second, support for Ukraine is indispensable. Peace requires strengthened security and sustained financial assistance to Ukraine. Reinforcing Ukraine's defense capabilities is not an escalation. It is the only path to compelling Russia to engage constructively in international peace efforts.
So they're saying we need more weapons to compel Russia. We need more weapons to compel Russia. The only weapons that can compel a nuclear state is nuclear weapons. She is lining herself with NATO and saying that Ukraine wants to go nuclear. How many, I'm going to pause it right there. I need to know how many people heard what I heard. How many people heard what I heard? I heard her say she wants to be part of NATO. I heard her say she wants to be nuclear. How many people heard that? I need to know. Enough. We ain't spending no more money in the Ukraine. But I'm just giving you the details of geopolitics so people understand what's going on. If they don't reach an agreement, then Trump will leave it to them. He will only help by increasing sanctions, no troops and no weapons directly from the U.S. I agree, but that's not the topic. The understanding is, did you hear? Okay, Robert said, I heard that. Can you say my name? It's Sky. Shout out to you. And Connie said, I heard that. Okay, we have some intelligent, adult thinking people who can understand, because English is not even her first language. Do you understand? She's reading from something that was written from her. English is not her first language. So I just wanted to point out when she says there is no Ukraine without Ukraine, and then she immediately says no Europe without Europe. That is her linking Ukraine to Europe. That is NATO. And then she says, by giving the Ukraine the weapons we need to compel Russia, that means she needs to be nuclear, because no gun is going to compel a nuclear state. The only weapon that she could have that would compel Russia is nukes. That's it. This is math. This is literacy. This is why the Democrats want to dumb you down. This is why I'm MAGA. This is why I'm America First. This is why this is not a joke podcast. I need intelligence. I need intellect so that you can break down this shit. If you are so dumb and so full of emotions and hate, you can't understand what's being said here today, and you don't know how to vote. And I don't trust your vote. If you can't break down and hear this, then I don't trust you. I don't trust your vote. I don't want you in office. You understand?
In this regard, we express profound gratitude to all partners and allies. This support is an investment in the rules-based international order and global peace. Third, the Kremlin regime will not stop unless it is stopped through unyielding and concerted pressure. There is only one realistic path to ending this war. Russia must be compelled to retreat, economically, politically, and militarily.
Great video. Great video. Great video. Great video. Great video. We doing some great learning today. Oh, man. Great video. Great video. Giving the people the real information. Giving the people the real information so they have. And this is about informing. Information so you can make up your own mind. That's all I want to do. Give you information so you can make up your own mind. Right? Give you information so you can make.
While Ukraine stands ready to engage in meaning.
All right. What else we got? We bumped that already. Damn, man. I keep doing that. I don't mean to do that. It's all good. How y'all feel about that, man? Just giving y'all some great feedback. How about Trump? How about that? How about that? Can we get a video of Trump talking about, I know he did a radio interview. I know he did a radio interview.
Українці,
I know he did a radio interview, but I'm trying to find. Oh, shit. And it keeps doing that fucking shit. I'm trying to find a link of Trump talking about, let me see what I can find. "28-point peace plan." I read the 28 peace plan. I have notes. Actually, it's so overwhelming, one-sided. I gave up quickly. I have nothing but admiration for Ukraine negotiators who have to use this plan as a starting point. Man, kiss my ass. Trump unveils a 28-point plan to end the war. Ukraine, the plan shaped with U.S. envoy Steve Wilcock, Russia Krill Dmitry. Full text of the 28-point peace plan. Y'all want to take a look at it real quick? Let's take a look at it real quick. We did read some of it. Here it is. We'll go over a little bit. Number one, Ukraine's sovereignty will be confirmed. So I don't know what she was talking about. A full, comprehensive, non-aggressive agreement will be concluded between Russia, Ukraine, and Europe. All ambiguities of past 30 years will be considered resolved. Russia is not expected to invade neighboring countries, and NATO is not expected to expand further. That was all Putin wanted from the beginning. A dialogue will be held between Russia and NATO, mediated by the United States to resolve all security issues and create conditions for de-escalation in order to ensure global security and increase opportunities for interaction and future economic development. I love it. America in the driver's seat. 5, Ukraine will receive reliable security guarantees. 6, the number of Ukraine armed forces will be limited to 600,000 people. That is against what she just said. She said she wants to go nuclear. The Ukraine agrees to enshrine in its constitution that it will not join NATO, and NATO agrees to include in its charters a provision that Ukraine will not be admitted in the future. NATO agrees not to deploy troops in the Ukraine. That's what this has always been about. NATO proliferation under Biden and Kamala. European fighter jets will be deployed in Poland. 10, a U.S. warranty. The U.S. will receive compensation for the guarantee. If Ukraine invades Russia, it will lose its guarantee. If Russia invades Ukraine, in addition to decisive coordinated military response, all global sanctions will be reinstated. If Ukraine launches a missile at Moscow or St. Petersburg without cause, the scrutiny guarantee will be considered invalid. 11, the Ukraine is eligible for EU membership and will receive short-term preferential access to European market while this issue is being considered. This is just a little bit of the 28-point peace plan. Powerful global package measures to restore Ukraine, including but not limited to an establishment of a Ukraine development fund to invest in high growth industries, including technology, data centers, and artificial intelligence. This is what it's always been about, money. The United States will cooperate with Ukraine to jointly restore, develop, modernize, and operate Ukraine gas infrastructure, including pipelines and storage facilities. So people were talking about the resources. That's in the deal. Infrastructure development, extraction of minerals and natural resources, that's in the deal. Shout out to Donald Trump. Russia will be reintegrated into the global economy. Shout out to Donald Trump. The lifting of sanctions will be discussed and agreed upon in stages on an individual basis. So it's not just peace in Ukraine, it's business. It's not just a peace deal in Ukraine. It's bringing Russia back into the international market. It says here, Russia will be invited to return to the G8. The frozen funds will be used as follows. $100 billion in frozen Russian assets will be invested in the U.S. reconstruction and investment efforts into the Ukraine. 15, a joint U.S.-Russian working group on security issues will be established. Russia will enshrine, and listen to this, Russia will enshrine in its laws non-aggression policy towards Europe and Ukraine. This is more than a peace plan. This is pretty fucking dope. This is more than a peace plan. This is why I believe Europe and the Ukraine don't want to sign it, because it makes America look fucking badass. America wrote it. America's going to benefit the most, and Donald Trump is the one leading this peace plan. And look at how Biden compare this 28-point peace plan where we get the minerals, we get the gas. Think about this. This peace plan, we get the minerals, we get the gas, we get the relationship. And think about how Biden left Afghanistan. So Trump did not start the conflict in the Ukraine, but Trump is going to get peace not only in the Ukraine, but he's going to increase business and profits in America by increasing trade with Russia, making Russia a partner. How do we never get in war with Russia? You make them a partner. You make them a friend. We don't want to go to war. We don't want war. We want money. We want a better quality of life. Russia doesn't want war. They want a better. So we become trade partners. So this is not just peace in Ukraine, but it's more money for the American people, and it's light years away from what Biden did in Afghanistan. When Biden left Afghanistan, the Taliban and the terrorists took back over. Does anybody want to have a real conversation, or do you just want to troll? I'm going to ask a favor. Everybody watching, if you are learning or you are being entertained, please double tap the cell phone and hit the like button. If everybody right now does that, we will be skyrocketed into the algorithm. So what I said to you is Joe Biden. Compare Joe Biden's exit from Afghanistan. Do you remember the debacle, how Americans died? Do you remember all the people hanging off the planes? Do you remember how much money we lost when we left Afghanistan? We left military equipment. We left people. We left investments. America lost when we left Afghanistan, right? When we left Afghanistan, America lost. but we are potentially going to benefit and gain from a peace agreement in the Ukraine. Not only do we stop the murder, not only do we stop Russian proliferation, but because Russia no longer wants, see, we really have the leverage because Russia wants to be back included in global markets. Russia wants to be back included in the G8. We are getting more than the peace in Ukraine. We are getting a partner. So we're not worried. Zelensky is saying, I can lose a partner. Fuck Zelensky. Fuck the partnership with Zelensky. I don't give a fuck about Zelensky. I don't give a fuck about a partnership with a dying, bombed out country. But we can benefit from a partnership with Russia because Russia is a very rich superpower that we do not want conflict with. So if we can also in this deal make a partnership with Russia that is lasting. Let me read this to you again. This is the part. I'm from the planet. I'm from the planet that voted over 80% for Trump. Let's remind the idiots in the chat. Right now, the congressional math. Do you know we had a special election in November? People keep talking shit. People keep talking shit, but I know you're fucking stupid. Do you know you just had an election in November just 2 weeks ago? All of you pussies who keep trolling, you could have voted. You could have voted and made the Democrats leaders in the House. You could have gave yourself power. No one trusts the Democrats. You just an idiot. Do you understand? You had a choice 11 months ago. You could have voted for Kamala Harris. You said no. You had a choice 2 weeks ago. You could have put the Democrats in power. You didn't. So please shut the fuck up in my chat with that stupid shit. Because the American people overwhelmingly continue to choose the Republicans. There is no fucking blue wave in Virginia. The House math is 219 Republicans after the Democrats spent $100 billion while you were broke. Remember, you were on food stamps. The Democrats spent billions of dollars on a special election. Remember that? Just 2 weeks ago, the Democrats spent billions of dollars on a special election. You know what you got? Let me explain to you. You got Morani because you're a bunch of morons. You got Zorani Mondani for the Democratic Moranis, and he made you a 3-point plan promise. He lied to you. Morani lied to you. He promised you free buses when he knew New York was in debt. He promised you free childcare when he knew New York was in debt. He promised you rent freezes when he knew New York was in billion-dollar debt. Do you understand why it's so criminal when the Democrats lied to you? Do you understand we were in quarantine? There wasn't a moratorium. Nobody went to work for 2 years. Nobody paid PG&E for 2 years, Con Edison. Nobody paid water bill for 2 years. So you know what happened in New York and Chicago? These major cities went into debt because no one was paying bills. Hello? No one managed the Con Edison power grid. America's power grid is antiquated and outdated. No one managed the water treatment plants. So cities Biden had to do something called a Recovery Act. Wait a minute. Let me give you the complete picture. Not only did we have quarantine and everybody stayed home and didn't work, but while people were staying home, we had BLM protests. We had Black Lives Matter protests. So Black Lives Matter police reform protests said you need to defund your police departments. But you know what Black Lives Matter didn't take into account? That cities were in debt. So cities fired police officers, defunded police departments in Washington, D.C., where Big Balls was carjacked, 1,000 police officers down. New York City, we're down thousands of police officers. Chicago, after COVID quarantines, we're down thousands of police officers, thousands of nurses. There is a smaller tax base. There are less professionals working. There are less professionals paying taxes. The entitlement pool has shrank. So where was the money going to come from, Zorani, Morani, Mondani? If we have been in quarantine and we are in debt, we are in recovery. We just got out. It's 2025. We just got out of quarantine. We just got out of a moratorium. We are in recovery. We have to build America back. Where is the money for the free buses going to come from, Zarani Mwandani? Where is the money for the rent freezes when New York is on a build back because New Yorkers were told to stay in the house? Remember when Cuomo was the governor? Cuomo was running for mayor, but Cuomo was the governor. And Cuomo, there was rumors about Cuomo killing old people. Do you remember all the dead bodies in New York? Do you remember trailers full of dead bodies in the old folks' homes? How many people lost grandmothers? I remember Cuomo. Do y'all remember Cuomo? Do you remember the old folks' homes? How many people really understand that when he promised buses would be free, that he could not do it? When he said buses will be free in New York, he could not do it because Maga already knew he was lying. Tax the rich does not fix 2 years of people not paying rent. And this, when you say tax the rich, you know what I hear? You want me to wipe your ass. This is the sick part of America. You say tax the rich. You know what I hear? I don't want to wipe my own ass. I don't know how to wipe my own ass, so I need a rich white man to wipe my ass for me. Tax the rich, tax the rich, tax the rich. I don't want to wipe my own ass because I want you to take money from someone else and give it to me. That's socialism. See, that's BLM. That's what happened in Black Lives Matter. Y'all thought Black Lives Matter was about me. Black Lives Matter wasn't about me. Black Lives Matter was about socialist ideology being implanted into the young minds of American people who now believe they deserve someone to wipe their ass. Black Lives Matter taught them Marxism, socialism, and now they want food stamps. They want rich white men to wipe their ass. That's what Black Lives Matter did. Black Lives Matter didn't tell police to stop killing black men. The lesbian black women who were the heads of Black Lives Matter did not care about black men. They put it in the mission statement. They said they don't care about black fathers. They don't care about black men. No, Black Lives Matter were trained Marxists. Do you remember? Trained Marxists. So you voted for a socialist. So Black Lives Matter took all your money and then you voted for a socialist who promised you Marxism but doesn't have money to pay for it. And the governor, who is the governor because of Cuomo was a creep. The governor Kathy of New York is the governor because Cuomo was a creep. Cuomo, who's not supposed to be in politics, who ran for mayor, Cuomo was banned from New York politics because he was a creep. I don't know how he was running for mayor. I do not know how Cuomo was running for mayor. Cuomo should have been prosecuted and put in prison. P. Diddy went to jail for the same allegations that Cuomo had. P. Diddy is in prison. But Cuomo, they said, Cuomo, we won't prosecute you. You know who said that? Latia James. Does anybody know who Latia James is in SDNY? See, that's why I'm the host. That's why I'm the host. Do you know who Latia James is in the SDNY? See, Latia James is being prosecuted by Pam Bondi. Latia James prosecuted Trump with 36 felonies. Latia James said Cuomo can go home. Latia James gave Cuomo a go home card. And Cuomo went home and then he ran for mayor. So Latia James said, we won't prosecute you, Cuomo. I'm not going to prosecute you, but you can't be governor no more. And then they gave the governor to a woman. First woman in history of New York to be governor. Did you know that Kathy was the first female governor in New York in American history? We never had a female governor. And she was not elected, just like Kamala Harris. Isn't this, how much are you learning? How much are you learning? I said, Kathy, the current governor of New York, is the first female governor, and she wasn't elected. Just like Kamala Harris was never elected to anything, never got a vote. She was the lieutenant governor, and she was elevated to governor when Cuomo stepped down. Did you guys know that? Did you guys know that? So when you think about why they thought they could successfully install Kamala, it's because they ran the same play in New York. Why do you think they tried to charge Trump with 36 felonies, Latia James, and then put Kamala, who had never got a vote, just like Kathy? They were going to install Kamala in the White House, just like they installed Kathy in the governor's house in New York. That's actually a funny joke. Paige, that's actually a funny joke. I'm not even mad. That is hilarious. That is hilarious. She's useless and she's an embarrassment. True. And what did Kathy say to Zorani Morani Mondani? Kathy said no to free buses, no to the rent freezes, no to tax hikes. Democrats in New York are sworn to never raise taxes. Democrats in New York have sworn to never raise taxes. So Morani, he's only been in office for 5 minutes, and this entire 3-point plan is gone. The entire 3-point plan is gone. Thank you, Morani. Thank you, Democrats. Thank you, Zorani, Morani, Damani, dum 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 dum. Huh? Okay. Russia flat out. Oh, come on, man. Let's get some more. How's everybody doing today, man? We did 2 hours. Oh, man, 1 o'clock. We did 2 hours. 2 hours, baby girl. 2 hours. The livest podcast on Saturday. I promise you, you ain't going to see nothing else this Saturday afternoon like this. I promise you ain't going to see nothing else like this Saturday afternoon. Who else is going to give you this information like this, man? Come on, man. Come on, man. Nobody. We talking about peace before we got the hostages are home. We have a 21-point peace plan between Israel and Gaza that was signed in Egypt, that was created by the Saudi royalty. No one ever really discussed the 21-point peace plan in Gaza. No one really broke it down to you. They were so busy trying to say it's not going to work. But I wanted to give details to my audience that Trump signed the 21-point peace plan for Gaza in Egypt. No one ever knew that. The 21-point peace plan for Israel and Gaza was created by the Saudi royals and approved by Saudi, UAE, and everybody before. It was the same 3D, 4D chess that they're doing to Zelensky. Before Bibi Netanyahu ever saw the 21-point peace plan, it was already approved by the United States and everybody surrounding Israel, where Israel had no choice but to sign the That's why I knew it was a real peace agreement. And it was signed in Egypt. Location, like no one pay attention to these little nuances. Like wow, Trump signed that peace plan in Egypt? Wow, it was constructed by the Saudis? So now today, we have a 28-point peace plan for the Ukraine. And it's the same thing. It was created and crafted by American leadership and American armed forces. And then we got approval, global approval, before presented it to Zelensky as an already completed deal. Russians have already seen it. Europe has already seen it. Zelensky, you're the last one to see this deal. Bibi Netanyahu was the last one to see the deal. Zelensky doesn't even really matter. We created the deal. America's going to benefit from the deal. Zelensky has to sign. I'm just looking for some more little links.
It is working with Putin, I think. Different with him.
All right, I found one. Finally, let's see if this is a good one, y'all. Y'all let me know if this is a good one.
It is working with Putin, I think. I did different with him because we don't do very much business with Russia, for one thing. You know, he's not like somebody that buys a lot from us because of foolishness. And I think he'd like to be. I think he wants to come in and he wants to trade with us and he wants to make a lot of money for Russia. And I think that's great. That's what I like.
Can we get it done in a couple of months, do you think?
I think we're going to get it done, yeah. I think he really wants to do business with the U.S. But it did work with India and it did work with Pakistan and it did work with 60% of those countries.
So I agree. And that's why in the peace plan, you see Russia will be enveloped back into the G8 because I agree. I believe Russia wants to do business with America and the globe again. I think they have
to. Look at the damage that...
I think they have to. I think Russia, because of the logistics and the demographics, they need to do business with America. So...
And look at the damage that Russia, Ukraine has done to us as a country. I mean, we spent $350 billion. We're not spending any money anymore. Now they pay us through NATO. You know, I got NATO to go from 2% to 5%. Well, that's very important. When you're president, you really sort of have to watch over the world because you're going to be dragged into it. Otherwise, you're going to be dragged into a world war. I think if I weren't president, first of all, that war would have never happened if I was president. And if I weren't president, that war could have led to World War III. It won't. It's not going to anymore. But when I first got in, I said, wow, this situation could lead to World War III. And I got NATO together. I got everybody together.
That's right. I've been saying that the whole time. That's why we voted for Trump overwhelmingly. This was almost World War III, and it was sparked by Kamala Harris' poor leadership. Just poor leadership. Kamala Harris trying to push NATO. This is why Kamala Harris lost. Free NYC. That's a great comment. Free NYC. That's a great comment. But you know, a lot of time MAGA says to Democrats, you got what you voted for. You know, a lot of time MAGA conservatives, we love to say to Democrats, I'm going to say this to you, Queen. New Yorkers better be prepared. New Yorkers, you better be prepared. You voted for something and now you got to live with it. New Yorkers better be prepared. And this is what Trump and MAGA, we always say, don't come whining to us. You voted for it. This guy has never been a politician. He doesn't have experience. Zorani, he has this socialist ideology. He made promises he can't keep. It's overwhelmingly obvious to me he's not prepared for the show. He doesn't know how to be mayor of New York, and you guys are going to suffer. You believe you voted for a pipe dream, and now you're going to suffer because you put someone who doesn't know how to lead in control. So yeah, free NYC is what they wanted. It's wait and see on NYC. MAGA already knows. MAGA is clear. MAGA is clear. MAGA is clear. The world is suffering. Yeah, it's going to be some suffering in New York too. It's going to be some suffering in New York. I ain't worried about Gaza. I'm worried about New York City. America first. Can we get America first in the chat? Can we get America first in the chat? Thank you, Queen. America first. This is why I keep talking about the investments, the Japanese investments, the investment portion of the 28-point peace plan. There's a lot of investment. There's a lot of business. There's a lot of job. America first. Japan, 500 billion. Toyota, across 5 states. Let me read this. I'm about to stop the podcast, but Toyota investment across 5 states. Y'all didn't read that? Toyota investment across 5 states. I wish we could get your name, Jose, so that you never get a job from anything Trump does. I wish we could get your address and we can make sure that you never benefit from anything that Trump does. As of November 22nd, Toyota Motor North America announced a $900 million investment in hybrid vehicle production across 5 manufacturing plants in the southern U.S. This initiative, part of a broader commitment to invest $10 billion in the U.S. I'm going to get some water. I talked about this already, but I just want to read it for the trolls. Then I'm going to shut it down. I'm going to get some water. I'm going to read this one sentence. I'm not even going to give you the whole story. Because I gave you this story when you were crying about food stamps. When you were crying about food stamps, you know what President Trump was doing? President Trump was in Japan. One of the best things I remember about this shutdown is President Trump not being pressured by Chuck Schumer and the Democrats. President Trump continued to be president during the shutdown. So while you were worried about food stamps, President Trump was in Japan getting jobs. I'm going to say that again. While you were crying about food stamps and having somebody wipe your ass, the president was in Japan securing investments and jobs. Not. Okay, I want to go. Okay, so let me read this to you because I'm about to go with my family. As of November 22nd, 2025, Toyota Motor North America announced a $900 million investment in hybrid vehicle production across 5 manufacturing plants in the southern United States. This initiative is a part of a broader commitment to invest up to $10 billion in the U.S. over the next 5 years. Aims to boost production of hybrid compatible engines, transaxles, and vehicles like the Corolla Hybrid. It will create 252 new manufacturing jobs and aligns with Toyota's build where we sell philosophy, responding to surging demand for hybrids among shifting EV market dynamics. The investments target upgrades for 4-cylinder hybrid engines, cylinder heads, transaxle cases, and engine blocks. With most projects completing by 2027, this builds on Toyota's cumulative U.S. investments now nearing $60 billion since entering the market nearly 70 years ago, supporting over 50,000 jobs against 11 plants. Here's the state-by-state summary of the $900 million allocation. West Virginia, $450 million to Buffalo for 4-cylinder hybrid compatible engines. Jobs created, over 100 jobs in Western Virginia. Kentucky, Georgetown, $200 million. 4-cylinder hybrid compatible engines, another 100 jobs. Mississippi, Blue Springs, $125 million. Hybrid electric Corolla production, first U.S. built hybrid Corolla, over 40 jobs. Tennessee, Jackson, $70 million. Hybrid transaxle cases. Missouri, $50 million. Cylinder heads. This is just to give you a background. Genuine question. Put it in the super chat. I don't got no super chats. Hey, I'm out of here, y'all. Y'all have a good weekend. Y'all have a good Saturday, man. I really enjoyed. You put that frog in here. This is what happened with BLM. That's that BLM shit. That's that socialist Marxist. I am talking about numbers, and they put a frog. Where is America going to be with these Gen Z? America is in trouble. America is in trouble. They wear frog costumes. I'm talking about billion-dollar investments from Toyota. And the response is a frog. I am telling you, Gen Z, you are in for a hard ride. You are going to get manipulated by everybody. Everybody's going to manipulate you until you wake up. It is sad. A frog. Y'all have a good one.